So tell us, what's your dream job?
Darling, I've told you several times before, I have no dream job. I do not dream of labor.
Hi beauties, welcome to another video. Today we're talking about women who don't dream of labor. I for one love this conversation and it's so near and dear to my heart because it's me, I'm women. Anyway, I got the idea to make this video because about 2 years ago, there was a very popular trend and conversation about women who prefer unconventional paths to success, and even conversations had about not wanting to work at all. Even in the comments of my high pay, low stress, feminine careers video, one of the top comments is a woman expressing how she doesn't dream of labor and how she's not interested in a career. I want to really get into this and bring the conversation back to the surface in maybe a more refreshing, informative, and validating way. Because I feel like this is more relevant now than ever. There is so much going on in the world today. There's like a bit of tension in the dating sphere. Talks about 50-50 relationships, the 4B movement, women not wanting to work or work laborious jobs and being kept wives. We also have to keep in mind the women who don't dream of labor but are forced to work, my aspiring soft life girlies. Let's be clear though, this video is not to bash or disrespect women who value being in the workforce and who want to contribute to society, especially in the spaces where we need them most. Brooke Kroger, journalist and professor at NYU, puts it best in an excerpt of her interview with rich women in New York who do nothing. I'll link it in the description below. It reads, "The expectations of these women are not, for the most part, oriented toward achievement, except insofar as being beautifully groomed or having the best outfitted children or the best laid table is an achievement. Many might argue that it is. Perhaps the question to ask is, what would the life of a woman who doesn't want to work have to look like before she becomes a peer instead of an object of scorn to the women who do? Or better yet, what would the world have to look like before either stops judging the other?" This video in particular is for women who don't dream of traditional ways of earning. They value their time and energy and seek creative, independent ways to meet their needs. These women are essentially alchemists and create almost a sort of magic in order to manifest the things that they want and need. I think we're all so different and we lead very different lifestyles, but what we can all agree on is that in this world, you have to make money if you're not already financially secure. You should never be a woman that is completely dependent on anyone unless you absolutely must be. In an article titled, "I do not dream of labor, but I don't dream of patriarchy either," the author Rebecca puts it best saying, "Financial abuse is a common but sadly less known form of abuse, or less articulated. The women of our parents' generation knew this reality very well." She goes on to share that when her mother got married, an older Greek grandma in her building warned her to always keep a separate bank account and a job, even if it's just a small part-time job. Her mother didn't listen. She rebuilt her life now, but it would have been easier had she taken this advice. Financial freedom means having enough income, savings, and investments to live the life you desire without relying on a traditional job. It is not being tied to someone who gives you frivolous material things while you own no assets at all. That's actually completely the opposite of achieving true financial independence. If you're in a relationship where someone can just pull the rug from under you and you're left with nothing, that is 100% financial dependence. Personally, I haven't worked a traditional job in almost 2 years. And what I've learned is that you kind of have to tap into a type of feminine creative energy that is lucrative and brings you money. You have to be open to receiving at all times, and you have to stay away from blockers that don't allow you to receive what you need and what you want. Blockers can come in all forms, like procrastination, self-doubt, or just people who drain your energy, addiction, a toxic lifestyle or relationship, bed rotting. So if you're in bed, get up, girl. Like, do your hair or something while you watch this. But what you have to do and focus on is notice when these blockers arise and know how to steer clear of them. Once you steer clear of these blockers, you'll notice how easily things start flowing your way. I know you've probably heard this before, but money is energy. Money has a spirit, and it really does flow to you when you're open to receiving it in that way. Wisdom is also very important because when you receive this money, you have to be smart and calculated about every move you make with it. You need to create ways for those funds to multiply. You need money to love you and to always want to keep coming back to you naturally. A healthy relationship with money means being very careful about the way you spend it. It's easy to make money. It's not as easy to keep it and to keep it coming. And that goes for everyone, with or without a career. I think as women, we have a natural ability and a privilege to use our feminine energy in order to make the world bend at our will. Dictionary.com defines feminine energy as an invisible spiritual force that is related to traits usually focused on emotions, compassion, and introspection. For me, it's about tapping into my creativity and intuition to create opportunities that align with my values and my goals. It also involves a lot of confidence. This life is not for the weak, and you cannot play about yourself at all. In this video, I want to share with you some creative ways that you can cultivate and develop your feminine energy in order to make the world give back to you in all ways that you want, without having to work a job. I also want to share with you some blockers that you may be dealing with or obstacles that may come your way during this life journey and how to steer clear or maybe even break those bad habits and energies that don't serve you. We'll also talk about some creative ways on how you can create security for yourself so that you always have something to fall back on. So I've included some TikTok videos to illustrate these points and show how other women are embracing this mindset. So let's talk about how you can channel your feminine energy, clear those blockers, and build a life where your creativity becomes your greatest asset. If this video resonates with you, don't forget to like, share, and comment your thoughts below. If you're not already subscribed, please do. It'll definitely help me and encourage me to continue making videos like this one. But let's keep the conversation going. The Discord is open for women only, 18 and up. And don't forget that you can join the Patreon to get early access to videos like this one, as well as access to some of my older videos that aren't on YouTube and other exclusive content. So let's talk about cultivating and harnessing your feminine energy. So I know that there's so many videos like this on YouTube, and I really try to talk to you all in a way that is very more realistic rather than like I'm coaching to you about this. But it really is true that this is a big part of being able to be open to receiving. And receiving it doesn't just have monetary value. You can receive relationships, you can receive friendships, you can receive assets. So it doesn't always come in the form of a dollar, right? But you have to cultivate and harness your feminine energy or positive energy, whatever you want to call it. And it all starts with loving yourself. Me, I don't play about myself. Every traditional job I've ever worked at, once it's gotten to the point where I felt the need to walk away, I would. Most of my jobs I walked away from or just quit on the spot, but I am not suggesting that you do this. Burning bridges is not the smartest thing to do. However, I always knew that I would never force myself to continue a situation, a job, a relationship, anything that made me miserable. I always knew in my heart of hearts that if I deserved better, I could always walk away from whatever situation and be responsible for myself in a way that made me feel secure within myself. In other words, I love myself so much that I know no matter what, I'm going to create a way to love my life and earn from loving my life because I care about myself and I know that that's what matters in order to reach my goals in life without being stagnant or held back. In other words, I'm never afraid of change. I'm never afraid to remove myself in any situation that calls for it. So you have to start developing that kind of confidence. Whether that means getting your ass in the gym, eating right, looking in the mirror and telling yourself, I got you. You need to start that like today, like right now. And I talk about other ways you can develop your confidence in my other videos. But no matter what anyone has said to you, no matter what you've been through and what's going on in your life, you have to be responsible for your well-being and your self-confidence and your self-respect. You need to get to know yourself, hug yourself. You have to learn to love yourself. Because if you don't know how to love yourself, how could you ever expect anyone to be able to love you? Any truly feminine woman who doesn't dream of traditional work experience and who creates something for herself, creates an empire for herself, she's confident, no doubt, in and out. Harness your feminine energy by making sure you're as confident as you can be, and know that it's a continuous journey that you will go through as you change through life, and it never ever stops. So fall in love with the journey of loving yourself. You can also keep your energy light and feminine by being around children. If you have nieces and nephews or even children of your own, being around them heightens your nurturing energy. Children also teach you how to have fun and let go. If there's anyone not laboring in this world the most, it's kids. So learning to have a more childlike spirit. Like I said in my hobbies and habits videos, you can watch children's movies and cartoons to develop this kind of child at heart kind of attitude. Keeping your energy light is so important. Listen to softer music. Find ways to continuously heighten your senses. Really just enjoy life and everything that comes with it. Learn to let go and learn to forgive, because holding a grudge weighs heavy in your spirit. Feminine energy also can be affected by the foods you eat. You need to cook your own food with intention. Keep your meals light yet consistent. Your food should be colorful, should be nutritious. You can also harness your feminine energy by practicing fluid and feminine movements. Dancing is such a great way to do this. And you don't have to book a class or anything. We have YouTube, so you're fine. But movement in dancing is fluidity. It also teaches you to be aware of every part of your body. Your gestures and the faces you make can also be very feminine as well. Smile more, and not for anyone else, just for yourself. Slow down when you do anything. You really want to have your movements reflect the way you want to enjoy life, how you want every second to be fluid and beautiful and intentional. Practicing etiquette can help with this for sure. You can also try softening or changing the tone of your voice and the kind of language you use. This will definitely allow you to harness your feminine energy, and it's also just really attractive and attention grabbing, ask me how I know. You can also develop your feminine energy by learning to adapt to your environment. I think people get a bit confused and think femininity is just one way, and it's not. A librarian, an equestrian, and a woman who is a car enthusiast are all going to have different kinds of femininity. I think it's so amazing to study and research the different ways that femininity is used in different environments, because then you can have a bit of that I'm every woman energy. If you can walk into one room and be feminine one way and walk into another room and adapt to that environment, I think that's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful skill to have, and it doesn't enclose femininity in this one size fits all kind of box, because it's not that. It's more than just wearing pink and being pretty and desirable. It's a lifestyle. Also, remember to be kind, and especially be kind to yourself first, always. Don't gossip. It's a very classless thing to do. Don't gloat or shame others who don't live like you. That will totally block your blessings. Instead, handle everything with care. Try to stay neat and organized. Everything you do should have aesthetic, intention, your room, your office, your wardrobe, the way you speak, everything. And enjoy it. It's so fun, honestly. And life can be hard sometimes, and you can slip up because no one is perfect. But if you develop a strong sense of integrity about yourself, you can definitely harness and keep your feminine energy to the highest of its ability. Once you cultivate a routine, you can start being open to receiving. And remember that nature is like your friend. It's your biggest friend when it comes to clearing your mind, resetting your energy. It's not called Mother Earth for no reason, but you'll start learning how to disconnect and tap into the magic that is all around you and inevitably inside of you. Nature is growth, it's abundance, it's real life. And once you tap into that, you'll start seeing how all things work in your favor naturally. Now, let's talk about overcoming blockers. I want to first talk about dealing with toxic people. You all know I talk about protecting your energy from jealousy, hate, malice, all of the time. These things can cause sabotage, destiny swapping, and just lowering your energy in general. It can be exhausting and heartbreaking, and as a woman who does not dream of labor, you're going to be met with a few challenges, and you have to understand that the outcome of your life really relies on who you are in those challenging situations. People are going to talk down on your aspirations. If you're living in a career-oriented society like New York, or even just around people who may struggle or overwork themselves, you may run into the "what do you do?" question a lot. Or you're just gonna have to deal with people who look down on you for not following a traditional career and lifestyle in general. To me, the "what do you do?" question is such a daunting one, because how do I explain that I'm just a student and a YouTuber without people thinking I'm uninteresting or foolish or chasing a dream or facade or anything that people usually think of? I literally had to learn to be confident in the fact that I don't dream of a traditional job, and even so, this is still a job. A lot of work goes into this, but it's something I enjoy, and it's something I have full autonomy over. In that same Brooke Kroger article from earlier, one of those rich women who do nothing living in New York expresses her disdain for the what do you do question. She says, in New York, if you don't do anything, it's almost as if you label yourself uninteresting person in all caps, as if people think if she doesn't do anything, she must be dumb. The only way you can get away with it is if you have small children. So this is where confidence comes in, right? You have to believe in yourself that you are successful or that you can be successful doing whatever it is you want to do. Whether that's getting married, having a YouTube channel, having your own business, or just doing odd jobs that feed your spirit. You have to be confident against these people who don't have the confidence enough to believe in themselves that they can cultivate something without relying on others. You have to know that you have the discipline, the drive, the personality, the looks, the energy in order to do what you need to do in whatever capacity that is. Don't allow other people's lack of whatever bring you down and convince you that what you aspire to be or do, even if it's nothing, is wrong or selfish or anything that they project onto you. If you allow others to dim that light, you'll ultimately have nothing. None of it will be worth it. Another blocker is overspending. Now listen, I love purses, bags, shoes, everything like that, but you have to realize that hoarding is a thing. Even if all of those things are super uber expensive and luxurious, gluttony is a thing, and it doesn't just involve food. Think about it. Feng Shui is so important to flowing energy, and frivolous material things, they take up space and can ruin the feng shui of your home or your living space. I'm not saying you have to be cheap or never spend your money or treat yourself, but really think about what matters. We are the type of women that need our money to multiply or appreciate in value. So every purchase you make should have meaning and intention, and you should be careful with the way you handle spending and finances. Addiction is another blocker. A bit obvious, but definitely we need to talk about it. So I'm gonna start with a very common one, bed rotting or like oversleeping. That's a big one. As women, I get it. We get tired. We're like cats and we can sleep the days away. Especially in the winter, it can be so hard to get out of bed. Like, girl, I know. We can lay down for hours doing nothing, which sometimes is nice, but all the time is when it becomes a huge crutch, especially if you don't dream of working and you need to make something work for yourself. Even if you're able to afford to lay down every day, really, you can't, because it takes a toll on your body, your beauty, your health, your spirit. Like, laziness is not cute, girl. And so we have to realize that bed rotting is something that is so easy to fall into. If you can't find something to do, go watch my video on boredom and the hobbies and habits video. You will definitely have plenty to do after that. This is like one of the worst things in my opinion, because it's something I used to struggle with myself for a long time. And being unproductive is not aligned with being open to receive and to live your life in a way that allows you to not labor. Overeating and your relationship with food can be a huge blocker as well, whether you want to believe it or not. Processed foods totally change your brain chemistry and are almost designed to keep your valuable energy low so that you can bed rot all day and do nothing. If you overeat, it's because you have nothing better to do or you're triggered in some type of way. But you need to find something other than food to fill your time with, because constantly filling your stomach is toxic to your health and to your energy. The same goes with drugs, excess drinking, and giving your body away casually. All of these things are huge blockers that, again, are designed to keep you from going against the status quo of working a traditional job. All of these things are suppressors and depressants, and addiction is something you have to shake in order to be successful in your life of no labor. Lastly, I want to talk about the addiction to men, because that can hold a lot of women back as well. The most dangerous addiction of all, I think, is the addiction to men. I think this targets and destroys your feminine energy at its core. This is aligned with giving your body away casually to multiple men and not really thinking about the consequences that come with being overly male identified, overly dependent. Men usually value themselves and they prioritize themselves. And as women, I think we fall in love with that confidence, or sometimes pseudo-confidence, that men possess, and we harness and cultivate that energy instead of harnessing our own. If you find yourself losing track of your desires, your wants, and your needs simply to fulfill or impress a man, it's like digging yourself a grave. You have to love yourself and prioritize yourself even if you're in a relationship. And you have to realize that life begins and starts with you. So always remember that and value yourself in that way. You have to relinquish any taste you have for things that do not work in your favor. You have to let go of the people that hurt you because you're only hurting yourself. And girl, I know it's not easy. Whatever your blockers may be, always keep the intention of rejecting them, even if you keep finding yourself stuck between a rock and a hard place trying to navigate these issues. Continue to talk yourself up and out of these situations and never stop. Say no to your impulsive addictions whenever you can. Not dreaming of labor means being your own boss, and sometimes you have to pull yourself by the ear and give yourself these pep talks. Don't let your nerves and impulses run you or your life, and know that you always have the option to walk away from it. Now that we know how to harness our energy and steer clear of blockers, let's get into some creative ways to earn income and start receiving the fruits of your non-labor. One idea is to advocate and help others by setting yourself up as an expert in whatever you do. Build a positive brand around your self-image and develop a leadership mentality so that you can cultivate a group, team, or empire of people that will assist you in your receiving. So not only will you be giving back to others just by investing into yourself, you will also receive the things you want in return, if your intention is set properly. The key is to only do what you love and to do it 100%. You want to become it and cultivate it into something lucrative. This can be anything, so don't feel stuck. Think about the things you do on a daily basis that allows you to feel happy. And you don't have to put a price tag on everything, but it'll be nice to get paid doing something you love. For example, if you love science and research and you don't dream of labor, you don't have to girl boss to be the #1 scientist in the world, but instead you can be creative, find a niche within science and research that you love and own it. It's yours, it's your space, no competition, and you can create a magnet for others who relate to you or want to learn from you. You can also figure out how to get paid for simply learning and going to school for the subject you love. That's what I do. I get paid to go to school for design. This is the same thing as setting yourself up as an expert in your field. You have to trust that what you value is valuable and can create a lifestyle for you. Submit to your desires wholeheartedly. I think that's what it's all about. Overall, you can use your allure, persuasion, and femininity to get what you desire. You have to understand that feminine energy, whatever that means to you, is something that most people desire. Think about it. That nurturing, soft, and inviting energy, children love it, men love it, women love it, even if they pretend they don't. This is an energy that has created culture, stopped and started wars. It's a topic of discussion everywhere on the internet right now. Everyone is trying to figure out the feminine energy. You have to put yourself in situations where you can express that freely. Remember that it's not only a gift to yourself, but for others around you. Volunteer, host parties and events, surround yourself with valuable people, and always remember to be open to receiving. That's the main goal and how you're going to sustain yourself and your lifestyle. And like I said, value does not only come in the form of money. Assets, relationships, and knowledge are just as, if not more powerful, and aids in the way that you achieve success. I'm not telling you to go quit your job immediately, but maybe you can start with doing little things and developing habits that make your life easier. I love the I don't dream of labor trend. It's very anti-capitalist, but there's still work to be done. You have to pay rent, pay your bills, and you have to survive. I think we as women should definitely be looking into creating and cultivating industries for ourselves and working together to support those industries so that we can develop a sense of peace when it comes to the natural labors of life. That's a bigger conversation, but let me know what you think of that idea in the comments. Now, let's hear some words of inspiration from other wealthy and successful women who've created dream lives for themselves. I'm going to insert clips of women from all walks of life, whether that's entrepreneurs, business owners, wives, and more. So enjoy these.
If you are someone who knows deep down that you are meant to live a big life, your dream life, meant for a luxurious life full of abundance, but you don't know how you're gonna get there, I want you to listen to this video. Save this. So I took the traditional route that we are all told to take after high school. Although I had no idea what I wanted to do with my life, I went to college and I put my head in the books because that's what we're told to do. Go to college, get a degree so that you can get a good job and work for the next 40 years. But something always felt off for me in school, okay? I never really felt aligned with any of the career paths. School just was not interesting to me at all. I always felt really lost and stuck, and this actually left me feeling pretty depressed. So I knew college was just not the right path for me. So I ended up dropping out pretty early on, and I started working multiple jobs as many jobs as I could, working in nightlife. I worked so many jobs, just trying to get by month after month, and only just to pay the bills. And this led me feeling more lost and more depressed because it felt like I was just slaving my life away, and it was a never-ending cycle. I could never create my dream life by working those jobs. I hated it so much. So one day, I think after I actually quit my jobs, I ended up Googling how to make money online after I had saved up enough money from all of those jobs. And I found out about Amazon FBA, and this is when my life completely changed. I ended up launching my first product, took a course because I saw a girl on YouTube who was around my age, and she was living my dream life. She was traveling to exotic islands and working on her own schedule. Plus, she was making hundreds of thousands of dollars per month, all from her laptop. This got me so excited. I took the opportunity to learn exactly how to do it through courses on my own as well. And that was the best decision I could have ever done for myself, that I could have ever made for myself. Fast forward to now, I've been basically a digital nomad for the last 5 years. I've lived in over 9 countries. I just bought my dream G-Wagon about 1.5 years ago. I paid it off. I make more money in a day than what I used to make in an entire month with all the old jobs combined, which is just wild to think about. But I want this just to serve as inspiration. If you see girls like me who are living this life, know that it is so possible for you to, with effort. Don't settle. This is just a reminder not to settle, okay? There are other options out there. And if you are curious about my journey, just go here.
I was just thinking about the fact that like 10 months ago, this girl gets on TikTok and calls me a wannabe influencer. The video goes viral. She's like making fun of me. And I think it's so ironic because last month I signed with a management agency. Like this wannabe influencer is now represented by Kensington Gray. And I just think it's like a testament to not listening to the noise. Like put your head down, continue to build. I have no clue what her trajectory looks like. I have no clue what she has going on, but I just remember being called a wannabe influencer. And since being called a wannabe influencer, I got to interview Yara Shahidi. I was on the CultureCon stage. We just closed 2 deals in literally 2 weeks. I don't know, it's like you really can't listen to these folks. You cannot get embarrassed because someone's making fun of you. You can't. So yeah, this wannabe influencer, I don't know, is she influencing? I don't know, but seems like it all works out.
It took me 3 years to learn this, but I'm gonna teach you in 1 minute, okay? Number 1, no response is the most powerful response. Number 2, always control your emotions. 3, make yourself a priority. 4, move in silence. Okay? 5, never appear stressed. I don't care what's going on. Always remain calm. 6, don't show your weaknesses or people will use them against you, okay? And 7, don't overthink. I was really, really bad at this. I will overthink and analyze every situation, but don't overthink. Just always remember, if you can't control it, you don't react to it.
Here are 8 hot girl mindset shifts that changed my life. Confidence comes from your little wins. It is not about what you look like, it's how you show up for yourself. Moving your body, meditating, self-care. Someone else's opinion of you is not a fact, it's an opinion. Everyone is entitled to their own opinion, so being offended by it is a waste of time. Be secure in what is facts. Who you are, your worth, and what you bring to the table. Hate will only come from below or from competition. People who are genuinely successful, like top of the top, will never hate on you. And if they are, it means that they're threatened by you. Clap and be genuinely happy for other people's success. Jealousy is ugly. Their success is only proof that you can do it too. Stop obsessing if a guy likes you. Put that energy into liking yourself, and the best quality guy will be attracted to the best version of you. No answer is an answer. Confidence is silent, insecurity is loud. Only insecure people will do a whole lot of this. Confident people do not have the time or energy. Your only competition is yourself. We are all starting from different starting lines. Compete with who you were yesterday.
The only way to not hate your life if you're working a soul-sucking 9-to-5 job is to maximize every single hour that you have outside of work, okay? You might need to wake up at 5 a.m. and go to sleep at 9 p.m., but it's worth it, okay? I told you I had a little date this morning, 5:45 a.m. He took my Pilates class with me. We got a little coffee afterwards. I'm telling you right now, going on a date before work is actually so ideal. After we got a little coffee, it was like I didn't have a lot of time, so it was just like a quick little flirty sesh, you know? And it makes him want you more after the date. He's like, oh, I didn't get enough time. I'm sure this is what he's thinking. I didn't get enough time with her. I can't wait to see her again. Thinks about you for the rest of the day. I'm sure. And then you go to work, and then you just like do your thing, you're important, you go to work, and then afterwards, you go on a little walk, you make a little, look at this sandwich, I made this sandwich. You get into a hobby, you watch a movie, something that makes you feel good, that you enjoy. And then you wake up and you do it all over again, but I'm telling you. And then also you prioritize your sleep, so you gotta maximize those hours. You gotta do fun things. You can't roll out of bed, go to work, and then come home and just scroll on TikTok. No, that's not good for the brain. It's not good for the soul.
I'm going to give you the same advice that I give to my girlies all the time. It's time to leave that job. And of course, I say that with as much pragmatism as possible, because I'm a firm believer of not allowing people to rush you, but also sometimes you just need that little. Of course, I only give you advice that I actually have adopted myself, because indeed I made that transition about 6 years ago now, from being in full-time employment to working for myself. Best decision of my life. Forever and beyond. And it's really funny because often my girls that come to me are typically ethnic, and they seem to have this history of one issue or the other in the workplace. And the thing is, they're very brilliant women, they're very talented, very skilled women, so there's really no overt reason for the difficulties that they face in the workplace. Insert the isms of the world. And it's funny because the same qualities that ethnic women are vilified for, whether it be you're too outspoken, you're too confident, you finish your work too quickly, you're too efficient, are the very qualities that are fucking amazing in business and will make you such a success. People really don't talk about the self-confidence that self-employment gives you. I don't know, maybe it's just the sector that I picked, but the fact that people pay me to be me, girl, when I was on the walls, no one fucking cared about me. Like, but do you know how wild that is? Like, digest that. For me, that is real freedom. If you want me to talk more about my self-employment journey, if you're thinking about making that transition, let me know and I'll answer your questions.
All right, beauties, I loved making this video for you all. This is the type of thing that inspires me, reminds me to continue to love myself and do what I love doing, which is encouraging other women to do what the hell they want. Our time, energy, bodies, minds, everything, even our hands, are way too precious to be taken advantage of and wasted. You are a woman and you can embrace that in so many ways, and it's so rewarding in so many ways as well. And you should never be ashamed of that. I hope you like this video, beauties. I'll see you next time. Bye.